I'm Cray Beaumont Flynn. Welcome to Beyond the Design, a show that gives you a peek behind the curtain of the design industry and shares the stories of those that are the driving force behind it. Well, welcome to Beyond the Design. Today we have MJ Coyle. Thank you for coming on the show, MJ.
You're very welcome, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So why don't you go ahead and share your journey and how you got started in this field of interior design?
Oh, man. Okay. Wow. Okay, it's been a very long and interesting journey, probably very different from a lot of the people that you've talked to in the past. So I started my interior design journey here in Indianapolis. I used to work for the company West Elm, which was under Williams-Sonoma brand. I was the head interior designer for them. I took on a lot of really crazy projects in this Midwest area that got me a lot of name recognition and a lot of it was very unexpected how my interior designs kind of come up and happened.
Right.
But, of course, a little-known show called Good Bones started filming here in Indianapolis. And they reached out very, very early on in the production of that show. And it wasn't working out for me. I wasn't really sure what was going on with them. It wasn't the right fit at the exact time.
Right.
But eventually we were able to make those it's really hard to explain because I don't know if
there's various components. Everything had to align, I guess.
Yeah, 100%. So when you're building a brand and you're just a little baby interior designer and you're in the beginnings, the humble beginnings of your design situation and your business, and you're growing it, and you're working so hard, and it's all word of mouth, and someone kind of plucks you out of obscurity, and they're like, hey, here's the TV show. We know you can do it. We know you can vibe with these people. Here you go. Here's everything handed to you. Yeah. I was the person that kind of said no at first.
Really?
Yeah.
Stage fright, or just didn't want to?
At that point, it wasn't the exact right fit. They wanted me to start out as what is kind of commonly known as a ghost designer.
Right. Behind the scenes. Right.
Yeah. Behind the scenes, it's more of like an art department
you do
position.
Right. Yeah, you do the work, someone else gets the credit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of like on my upscale journey, and I was like, I don't know if that's the right fit to just like, I'm getting kind of recognized, I'm winning awards, I'm doing these things. I'm 22 years old. I don't know if going into the shadows at 22 is exactly what I'd like to do at this point.
Right.
But yeah.
I get you. Yeah. I've been in the same place. I was working for someone with initials KW out of California, where I was doing the designs, but they were getting all the credit. So, yeah. You know, if some people it works for and some people it doesn't. You want to kind of incorporate your own aesthetic and promote it.
Absolutely.
Are you originally from Indianapolis?
I am originally from Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised. Love Indy. I lived in and worked in New York City for a while. Loved that. Worked in the fashion industry out there. So many more times than not, I would say, someone would say, oh, where are you from? And I would say, Indiana. And that would be the end of the conversation. So, I'm forever trying to change that dialogue. But,
right.
Yeah, I've kind of, I've really dedicated my design and my aesthetic and everything that I think Indiana and Hoosier people have to give, from the design and the art and all of these different aspects of creativity. I am going to base myself here for as long as I possibly can, because it is such a great city for self growth. And
Correct.
yeah,
There's a lot to say about Middle America, the Midwest. I mean, obviously, I'm in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and you know, it has a preconceived idea, I think, to a lot of people that have never been to the state or to Tulsa, that it's flat and, you know, dusty, and it's a great place. It's a well-kept secret, so we don't try to promote it. But
yeah.
So doing the show, were you friends with the main people, individuals beforehand, or did you not know them?
So I was really close with Mina's sister-in-law, Alexa, but knew of Mina, and Mina knew of me, and I knew of Karen. I mean, Indy is the biggest small town.
Right.
Everybody knows everyone, but it was kind of almost like just a really great meeting of the minds when I did join the show, and when I came onto the show. It was the exact right time. Like, it couldn't have been better timing on my part, couldn't have been better timing on their part. And I did kind of fulfill that ghost designer position for a while. And I was fulfilled by that. It was really fun. I was meeting a lot of great people. I had a very small budget to do something super fun with no timing at all. Like,
right.
And that was great. It was really fun. It kind of got me out of my little design rut for a minute. And I loved being a part of that. The first season of the show that I wasn't on camera was a wild, wild ride. Wild ride.
And how long have you been on air now?
I joined Good Bones at this end of season 4, or the end of season 3, beginning of season 4, and designed, I think, most of the homes for season 4. And then season 5, it was like we were in, because you're in constant production.
Right.
So you're just going, going, going. There are certain homes that you think might be on season 4 that end up on season 5. It's just a constant build design situation, because we are building from the ground up 15 to 16 homes a season, and the filming never ends.
Right. That's very time consuming, I'm sure.
Very time consuming.
So is it now more of a creative collaboration? Are you still?
It is, I mean, the show has ended at season 8, and I started at season 4, end of season 3, beginning of season 4. We kind of, as a whole, have decided to end the show, because it is so much work. There's so much burnout. There's so much financial responsibility on our end, and especially on Mina's end as a business owner. And it's been an amazing run, and it's kind of like, if we kept going, it would not end in an amazing way, in my opinion.
Yeah. As they always say, you want to end on the top.
Leave the party before it's over.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that kind of takes me to your next question. So you've just launched your own design firm, MJ Home. Tell us about that.
So MJ Coyle Home has kind of been like a dream of mine, a passion of mine, something I've really wanted to get off the ground for a long time. But I mean, when you're filming a TV show that literally never ends, because there's always footage to be caught, you can't really I don't know about you, but when it comes to detail and how roles, like things roll out, how things appear, attention to like what the mood is, what the vibe is, like
Right.
different dates have more meaning to me than others. You want to be able to take the ultimate amount of time to make it exactly what you want it to be. And I think any creative person kind of knows what that process is like. And I don't want to call it pickiness or I don't know what else to call it. It's kind of like, and I don't want to say vibes because that's like my least favorite word ever. I think it's just that internal knowing of when it is the right time to do something or move something forward. The same way it's like this chair looks amazing in this space. You kind of have to have those feelings before you can fully give yourself to something. So with the show slowing down and us wrapping up production on season 8, it all just kind of like, it was almost like calm on the waters. And I think a lot of the cast, Mina, Karen, Tad, Corey, I think everyone just kind of like had this like woo-saw deep breath moment. Like, now is the time that we start launching our own.
All the stars aligned, I guess you could say.
Exactly. It was just the timing was right, and we were ready to move on.
So will your firm focus on the residential aspect of the sector, or will you kind of do a wide range of various different projects?
It will be super, super wide range. That was one of the first things I wrote down in my little manifesto was I didn't want to limit myself to any kind of design. I didn't want to say no to anything. So I'm kind of, this is my MJ's big year of yes. So I'm saying yes to every project, no matter how big or small, and just kind of seeing where that takes me. I mean, it all fascinates and interests me and fulfills that creativity that I need. So I'm not ready to say no to anything.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself doing your own show based off your firm and your projects?
I would say that's the number one question that I get DM'd about. It's a very complicated thing, and I think my husband would probably have different answers than I do. But Glenna, if you're listening, I'm down to do my own show, but you know it has to be on my terms. And I think I would want to do something a little more casual, not so. I don't know. That's really cool. Obviously, I haven't really thought about it that much. I think that I would, but I think it would definitely have to be more MJ style.
Not so formatted onto the build side?
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
Okay.
It would have to be less of the, like, procedural.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah.
So is there an MJ Coyle design aesthetic that you're known for? If I walked into a space like, I know MJ Coyle did this.
I think that there is, and I think that aesthetic and that look that I am able to, I mean, if you've seen it on TV, which is basically my entire career, it is that I can put a home together, I can try to evoke a feeling, and then I can get that feeling to the space in 3 to 4 days.
Wow.
That's
a quick turnaround.
Which is a really crazy thing, but
when do you sleep?
Yeah, right? That's literally what I've done for so many years, and I think that process has been a priceless education for me, because having a house finish on a Monday, and I'm talking like the paint is barely dry, and then having a producer and Mina and people being like, you have to have this house ready for a TV reveal in 3 to 4 days. Also, that other one that you just finished, we got to get out of there because someone bought it.
Right,
like, it's a very high-paced, fast speed, you got to think, you got to follow your instincts kind of design situation.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time I look back and I'm like, what, MJ, what did you do? What were you thinking? And then other times, it's like the little quiet moments, little vignettes and such, where I'm like, oh, that was my happiness. That was incredible. You did that in no time at all. Like, it's been a very trial by fire design education that I've gone through, especially in working in the TV medium, that I think I've walked away with so much knowledge and so much peace and so much like, wow, if I can do that fast, imagine what you could do if you really sat down and like were able to fully think and fully like execute these design projects.
Mm-hmm. What is your process when you take on a new project, both for the show, which is completely different than for your own firm, design firm, when you take on a project? I'm sure you have a little bit more time to digest it.
So when it comes to a project on TV, you only have you have this limited amount of time. So you kind of have to like gather everything and have it ready to just go into this house whenever the green light turns on. When it comes to my actual design firm, I want the process to be as casual, slow, thought out, and like curated and articulated as possible. Can I do that maybe a little bit faster than some designers who haven't gone through the trial by fire? Maybe, but I love the slowdown of it. I love to really think about it, really like chew on the ideas and decide what is the best fit and the best way to approach the design.
During this transition, when did you start your firm?
Well, I started it about 2 months ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm in my studio space right now. It's been great. I've been doing a lot of virtual consultations, which I love. I love my virtual consultations. My in-home consultations, my full design builds, my design, like everything is just kind of falling into place in a really great way that doesn't feel forced or rushed. And luckily I was confident in the fact that opening my business, there were people that wanted to work with me, wanted to dig in deeper, liked my aesthetic, and were ready to go. Were ready to trust me because they've seen me on their TV for 8 seasons of a TV show. So that's like an upper hand that I never expected in my career to have. And while I had that, it went by in a flash. So I'm very lucky.
Are most of your clients or people you're doing consulting for in the Indianapolis area or outside?
Every single one of them is outside of Indianapolis.
Really?
I've started to take on a few more local projects, but my last virtual consultation was in Alaska.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of people in California, a lot of people in upstate New York. It's kind of been all over the place. But it sounds crazy to say. I think the Indianapolis people know that I'm here. So it's kind of like, they're like, he's not going anywhere. He'll be here when we're ready.
Right. What are some of the key factors you consider when designing a space, both for functionality and aesthetically?
So I really try to dig into how people live in and use their spaces, which I'm pretty sure is what most interior designers say. But I really like to, it, when you meet a client, the client will kind of come with what they want it to be and what their aesthetic lends to the space being. And you kind of have to break that down into what and how they actually use the space for. So that is what I lean into the most, especially when it comes into residential spaces. Like I understand what you want it to look like, but how do you actually use this space?
Mm-hmm. Do you feel you challenge yourself in design and aesthetically?
I would say that I challenge myself. I'm actually really, really hard on myself when it comes to certain aspects of interior and home design. And I never want you to circle back. I kind of don't want someone to look at my work and say, oh, that's an MJ Coyle space.
Right.
I kind of want everything to be a little bit different. I like things to be a little bit off. I like to be very art and story forward. And that is kind of like a more internal challenge that I have. I wouldn't present that to clients, but I want every space to be different from the last.
Mm-hmm. Are there any trends that you find particularly exciting or interesting?
I don't really find any trends exciting or interesting. I kind of, I hate to say it, but I know which ones are boring to me. I know what feels safe, and I know what feels finished in like an easy way. And I try to kind of avoid both of those things. And I mean, there have been times that I have just gone safe or trendy or for more of that just easy breezy situation. And those are the projects I end up hating. So it's kind of like I want to make things as eclectic but comfortable and fun, art forward, while telling a story and creating a space that is just different. I feel like sometimes you scroll on Instagram or you scroll wherever you're scrolling, and there's just so much that looks kind of the same, in the same vein, or in the same likeness, and I recognize that all designers kind of look to someone else or look to other things, and I just like shaking it up a bit. Maybe like someone
shake it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe someone like you used to ghost design for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue it on a different subject.
Yeah.
Because I think you know who I'm referring to. So,
absolutely.
How do you balance the client's preference with your own design vision? You know, a lot of clients, I think, especially in the residential sector, have Pinterest and Instagram, and it's like, this is what I want, not knowing that it might not fit their lifestyle or location or the environment of their home. How do you kind of guide the client's preference with your own design and vision, knowing their lifestyle and functionality and stuff like that?
Well, if you've watched any of my shows, I obviously don't care about what. I do take it into account, and I do a lot of translating their vision into what I think they are trying to articulate or what they're trying to push forward through their vision. And I will risk it. I'll risk it for the design. If I feel that a client might be stuck on something that I don't think they necessarily need to be stuck on, I will gently push them through to the cool, or gently push them through to the absolute finished design that I think they deserve. Obviously, any interior designer is going to tell you that's a delicate dance, but sometimes
that's why they hired that's why they hired the professional.
Exactly. So just being that kind of guiding light and almost like the spirit guide of design for some people, it really helps. And if someone comes to me with a design that I'm not necessarily comfortable with, I will still start the process and try and push them out of those comfort zones, because why hire a designer? Why do these things if you could just go to Pinterest and copy it? I mean, it's not hard. So yeah, it's always pushing people beyond their comfort zones and then making them think it's their idea.
Absolutely. Well, it's like those people. It's like those people that go get a haircut and they bring a picture. It's like, well, your hair doesn't work like that. It
100%.
doesn't. You know, what inspires and motivates you in this design field?
I think the thing that inspires and motivates me the most is knowing that I can go in a space that might feel just meh or dead or just like it's not great. Like, this is just a space, and creating soul and story and art. And it's, for me, in a big way, it's really about like educating people about how to evoke a feeling, how to create a space that actually makes them happy, actually drives them to sit down and hang out. Something interesting. I feel like there are so many people that just fill spaces with things and stuff. And if you hire a designer, or you have a good eye, or you really think about the things that like fill your space, it becomes way more important to you. It can affect your mental health. It can affect your how hard you're working, your creativity, spaces can evoke feelings, emotions, everything. And I think it's so important that everyone have that safe, cool place to call home or to hang out.
Is there a particular project that you've worked on, be it on or off camera, that really excited you? And has there been one that you're like, oh, I never want to do that again? I talked to someone once that said, someone asked me to paint a black room and everything was black. It's like, I never want to do that again.
I think I listened to that episode. Every space excites me at first. Period.
That's good. Good selling point.
I really love every space that I walk into. I initially get that feeling. I get that. I'm trying not to say the V word. I don't think there's a project. I mean, obviously, there are projects that I've looked back on after having 3 days to fulfill or do that I'm not obsessed with or in love with. And there's projects that I have had 3 days, 4 days to do that I'm like, wow, that's really cool. That's great. I think the most excited that I get is when I see a completely blank canvas and I meet the clients or the homeowners or whoever I'm partnering with on the project, and they are so jazzed up about me being a part of the project that they're just kind of like, we will follow you, do whatever. And that's every interior designer's dream.
Right.
But I think that is the most exciting part, is when I walk into a room and I do my little happy dance and I'm so ready to just go for it. And be it a client, be it a producer, be it a whatever, whoever, is like, go, yes, that. What you're doing right there, do that. Go for it.
Do you consider yourself a traditionalist or more contemporary, more modern?
I don't think I'd put myself in any of those. I don't even want to call them boxes. I think it really is just an ability to see a space, feel a space, and know what it needs and what it deserves. Not to get too like meta and weird. Like it's very I don't know. I think my brain works differently in the fact that I can see a space, be it 4 walls or an entire whatever it is. I kind of know the vibe. Oh, I said it. I know the feeling that I want to evoke when I walk into that space for the next time. I know the layers, the layering, the art, the colors, the tones, the feelings. I think it's just very case by case basis. And I would hate to revisit MJ Coyle home 15 years down the road and be like, oh, everything kind of looks the same. Or, wow, you evoked a feeling once, got well known for it, and then produced that in every space that you did. I think openness to any possibility. If I would love the challenge of someone being like, everything in my home has to be from the exact year 1959. And like, or if someone said, I want nothing in my house to be white. Or if someone said, I love that kind of challenge, I've yet to face that kind of challenge. But I don't see a world where I am doing the same or even remotely similar looks for every single project. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, yeah. To me, it makes sense. I understand it. So now that you've launched your own firm and you're doing stuff outside of your own locality, how are you achieving that? Are you still traveling quite a bit to working on those projects?
So I do travel for projects, especially ones that I'm very excited about. I'm super open to traveling around the Midwest. Yeah, I will really, if I'm excited about something, I will go.
I mean, you've come from an environment that's very collaborative and working with partnerships and others. Are you continuing that effort and working with various entities? Do you enjoy that?
I do enjoy that. I mean, being under a giant network umbrella can limit some of those possibilities. So I'm kind of getting back into that, working more locally. I love all of our local vendors and builders and furniture makers and artists and all of these people that have kind of worked with me throughout the years. I love that aspect of the design world, the very small design world here in Indianapolis. But I'm really, it sounds so stupid, but I'm so open to literally any. Like I said earlier, I'm in my year of yes, in my year of like, I'll explore anything. I had someone recently reach out to me to do like a mental health facility on the outskirts of Indiana, and I'm like, never done that before. Sounds fun. Let's do it. Like, let's explore. Like, I'm down. I've done bridal studios. I've done bars. I've done all of these things. I really do not say no to much anymore.
Wow. Call them now.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Next year
So
might
now-
be my year of no, but
Exactly.
this is my year of yes.
You got, what, 4 months for
Yeah.
the yes.
There you go.
Given that you've now have opened your firm, is there anything else on your list you want to achieve? Any goals?
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying some designers, obviously wanted to be published, a book, design your own furniture, start building your brand, paint. I don't know. It's your yes year, so.
Literally everything that you just mentioned is a process that I've started that I I'm a timing guy. And I don't think a lot of those things that you mentioned, I don't think the timing was right. I would love, love, love to release a design book. That's definitely a goal of mine. I am also a painter and an artist. I have a huge show coming up in November that I'm very, very excited about and very, very passionate about. And I'd love to get to deep dive more into the art world.
Mm-hmm. What is that show? Is it an exhibit of your work?
Yes. So it's an exhibit of my work. I'm in my art studio right now. It's a beautiful space in downtown Indy that really, really energizes and creates just like a perfect space for my creativity and all my thoughts and feelings when it comes to design and art. I don't know if you can hear the traffic right outside, but
slightly.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
I love this space. I love being able to. I want to help as many people as possible, and I think that's part of my design philosophy that might get lost in the TV of it all. But
right.
I want to help people. I want to be able to answer their questions. All the people on Instagram, they're like, "Oh, I have 46 Christmas trees that I put up every year, and I wish that I had a better idea of what to do with it." Like, there's no problem too small, and I want to be there. I want to be there for people, and I want to help people. I know how wild gutting and remodeling an old home is. I know how crazy just like the smallest selections can become when you aren't confident in what you're doing. I want to create a platform where anyone can come to me and ask me for help or suggestion. And I don't want to be priced. I don't want to price anyone out. And I think that's like a very big a big problem in the design industry in general is like there are so many people that need help or have questions or want feedback on things, but it's this interior design world has become such a luxury that some people don't think that they can afford or have access to this kind of luxury situation. So I'm trying to just be as open to that as possible.
So quickly go back to the art show exhibit. So you'll be exhibiting somewhere coming in November?
Yeah. So I'll be exhibiting here in our gallery with one of my best friends, Justin Bining, who's been on Good Bones numerous times. We have a huge art gallery, and he exhibits, I think he does 3 or 4 big shows a year. So one of those shows this year is going to be my show.
Oh, fantastic. And what type of medium is your artwork?
So while I've done plein air and landscape before, this year, I mean, this painting behind me that's one of mine. It's very abstract, very textural, very story-based. I do custom paintings for some of my clients, and yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So is your own home curated, or do you? I know some designers have a problem in their own environment because they see things and they turn it around, and their partners, husband, wives always get upset. It's like, stop already.
So while my home is very curated, and I think it was on season 4 or 5 of the show, it is completely changed, and it's ever changing, especially the art, especially the lamps, especially a lot of the smaller items. But I will say that in the past 6 years, having 15 homes going at the same time has kind of itched the scratch just a little bit. That I haven't had to do anything too wild to my own home, but it is always changing. The paint's always changing. The light fixtures are always changing. I can't really stop.
So are you
That's why
working
you
on
need to hire me so that I can stop
There you go.
redoing my house all the time.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't like doing my own environment
Really?
because I do get overwhelmed. Yeah, I want someone to kind of dissect and translate what's in my head into a new vision.
Oh man, I should try that.
How many projects are you working on right now for your firm?
So right now I have 6 projects, varying in size, but they're all very exciting, and I would like more. I would like, I don't know how to say this nicely. I love the projects and I appreciate all the projects. I feel like as interior designers, and I keep talking about us as if I'm the spokesperson for the community, which I'm absolutely not, and they do not want me to be. I feel like we are always looking for that perfect client to design situation. And I feel like it's so few and far between that it's almost like you're just chasing something that will never be. It's almost like dating.
Right.
Sometimes, like, design can sometimes feel a little bit like dating, and it's, I don't know. I feel like I really, really want, I have this vision of this perfect client and this perfect project, and I want that to come to light. And if that's you, then send me an email at mj@mjcoilehome.com, and we'll work together, and it's going to be amazing. And
So, well, what does that look like in your head? What is that perfect project? What is it that's instilled in your head that's twirling around that you kind of envision what that perfect project would like to
just
be?
like architecturally beautiful space, no budget at all, and just the ability to do whatever I want.
Right. Well, maybe you'll get a call now.
Yeah. Maybe,
Do you think you'll miss? Yeah. Do you think you'll miss being on camera and doing a show in that environment, or has it been draining?
It is not.
Been limiting, I guess.
I don't think that it's been draining and limiting. I think it's been a challenge and it's been tough. It's been very tough, but also so rewarding, and it's taught me so much about myself, my design, how I work, what my ability to get things done. I definitely, and without being able to say anything, know that there will be more shows in the pipeline. I don't think that I'm done being an on-camera designer or TV personality. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. We'll see. But I'm open to everything, and I don't foresee myself going away or walking away from TV anytime soon, but
Mhm.
maybe it's just all very up in the air, and I think it's a really, really cool space to be in right now for me.
Well, I'm crossing my fingers for you and hope the best for you.
Absolutely.
What else is next on MJ Coyle's wish list and next steps of where you want to go?
Well, I think my focus right now is kind of doing what makes me happy, saying yes to things that make me uncomfortable, focusing on my focusing on my firm, my art, and just kind of like taking it slow for a minute and slowing down and really appreciating all the things that I have and all the things that are coming my way.
Mm-hmm. Will
And a
you
book
continue
deal.
to work with the crew? What's that?
And a book deal. I
On a book
would
deal.
I would love to do some kind of book deal within the next year or two. I think that would be great. I think that would be like a very good cherry on this chapter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Kind of wrap it up and put in a bow, and
Yeah,
there you go.
and leave it on the coffee table.
Do you have any favorite design materials or elements that you're constantly incorporating in your projects? It's like your go-to.
My go-to. For me, everything is so arc forward. I can design or for like see a space based on a piece of art. Like, and that's kind of how, if it's not the story of a space or the initial feeling of a space or the history of a space, I will lean to a piece of art to kind of encapsulate what the rest of the vibe is going to be, the colors, the tones, the feelings. So I think that is something that I'm very excited to lean into a little bit more color story, a little more art forward. I think antiques make a space. I think older things. I think bringing things back into a home that were originally there. I really love looking at old photos of a space. If you give me an old photo of a living room and you have walked back into that old space and it's all whitewashed and all completely modernized, that is really exciting to me. To try and bring back those warm elements and those original elements and antiques, and I don't know. I think
it gives a element, I guess, a layered element of history.
100%. Bringing those kind of elements back into a space is always going to be huge.
What advice would you give an aspiring interior designer who wants to get started in this industry and has a career?
Man.
Don't do it.
I always call them baby designers. I think if you are a brand new baby designer out in the world, I think with social media and Pinterest and all of these things that we are kind of told are textbook, I think you need to just ignore. Have your heroes. Have your spaces that you love. Study these people. Study the past. Don't keep up with the present. Do what makes you feel good and what makes you love a space. Don't create spaces that you're creating for other people's
Good point.
Judgment or feelings about, unless it's your client.
Is there anything else you want to share or promote or tell us about MJ Coyle and your journey?
When it comes to my journey, I think literally do everything that you find to be scary. and just work harder than everyone else in the room.
Mm-hmm. Good advice. Yeah. I agree. Put yourself out there and say yes, don't say no, and test your limits.
Yeah. And if you have your yes year and then have your no year. I mean, it's perfect balance. Say yes to everything for a while and then say no to everything for a while, and then you can really chalk everything up to what you actually like doing. Because if you say yes to everything, that's the only way to find out what you don't like to do.
Exactly. Well, I'm with you on that. This year has been a yes year for me.
Love it.
So you never know. You never
And
know.
who's going to interview you? When is your episode?
I don't have an episode.
I think you need an episode.
I was approached, and I think I told you this in our phone conversation. I was approached by 2 producers for a potential show, but because of the writer's strike, they did not get greenlit. So I don't know. I mean, I have 2 podcasts. I'm a designer. I'm an architect. I have a furniture line I launched 4 years ago. That's all Native American inspired. There, I promoted myself.
There, you did it. See,
that's it.
That's amazing.
I've been approached to do it, and it's like I don't want to talk about myself.
It's
I want to hear other people's story.
It's a really hard thing.
Yeah. Well, MJ, I really appreciate you coming on our show today. It's been fantastic, and best of luck to you on your firm, and congratulations.
Thank you.
And the rest of the 4 months ahead of yeses.
Yeah. 4 more months of yes.
And, 8 years on a show, that's pretty good. So, again, you ended on the top, I guess.
Thank you. Leave the party before it's over. That's my other advice.
There you go. All right, sir. I appreciate your time, and thank you again.
Thank you.